Since this has been one of the more challenging aspects of keeping the worms is the fruit flies. There were, about a medium amount when I came in this morning on outside the lid. So I'm taking the lid off. Now there's a lot. There's a lot in there, and they're not, because it's warmer. It's 65 out here, but it's better in there. I want to add some more kitchen scraps, but I don't want to multiply their population. So maybe I change these out anyways and see what that does. So I'm using apple cider vinegar and then Dawn dish soap. Maybe too much soap, so I'm going to try less soap this time. These fill up pretty quick, so what I thought was a little amount was already above the window. This one's just about at the top of the window. That was just one little squirt. My understanding is it's just to break the surface tension of the liquid so they can't fly back out. Doesn't look like there's any suds, but there's a few bubbles. So we've got a lot more scraps, but I'm going to have to add another tray. I mixed up some worm fattener with crushed eggshells, alfalfa meal, old pancake powder, and dry milk powder. So let's see how that goes. There was one suggestion, make it drier, and I don't know what the other one was. There was two parts. What do they like? They like fruit, wet. So now they don't have access. Let's see what happens. So this is tray C. Sorry, I get to working, forget that you're interested. I put the worm fattener with the kitchen scraps and mixed it up already. So there it is. This says it's 7:13 on Saturday the 28th. The doors open, the fans were off, and I turned them on. As the temperature was 67.8, 10% relative humidity. Fruit flies were high. The 747, the trays A and C were out, cleaned, vermicompost VC to old compost tumbler compost bins. 7:32, Tuesday 31st, 53.1 degrees Fahrenheit, 13%. Windows, doors, fan on to off. Fruit flies on the lid. We'll wash them off. On the top of the, I guess the kitchen scraps, whatever was on there, like we saw before. 7:25 later that morning. 65.1, 10% digital, still wet. Oh, that's this morning. I didn't put the date. Thank you for catching that. So I put an asterisk down there, Wednesday, the 1st of November. 65.1, 10%, digital still wet. I had it inside and I left it inside and it got wet and can't read it. Kitchen scraps plus the fattener, I did that. A medium amount of fruit flies on the lid. Fly paper photo, I got a picture of the fly paper I use here that I'm going to, try and estimate the change in growth and number of flies we're catching there. Photo. Do I change the apples? Yes, I changed them. After it's filled to above the window plus 1 squirt of soap. I put the tray C back on with the chafy hay, kitchen scraps, a worm fattener, RH rice hulls, apples, fruit fly traps. Well, I got 2 of them, and it's Wednesday, 1st November. That's how you read that thing. This is a system. I don't know how integrated it is, but here we separate the solids from the liquids in the kitchen scraps. Today the liquid went under the lemon tree, and they're coming on very nicely. The liquid from the compost tumbler is caught under there. I just put the newspapers in there and then put the newspapers back, because otherwise it just goes back through. Here's the old newspapers wet on top with some coffee grounds sprinkled over them. I put in a new barrel of wood chips because the leaves were composting down and the bulk was reducing, so I wanted to bring the bulk back up and adding the moisture because they were dry. After the tumbler has cooled down, it's gone through its phases and it's black, then we put them into trash cans. This is nice and humid. You can feel that, and this is moist. I got the fruit flies on top of here, but I don't have air and I don't have water, so that's my remediation, to get these barrels with some air, maybe down the corners here, and then water, and hopefully not too much. So next time we do a barrel, it's going to have air vents and water drains. There's one water drain, but I don't think it's enough, because when I take it out, it's dry on top and wet on the bottom. It's all muddy, so it needs to be improved. And I've seen a method that looks really hopeful, the Johnson Sioux bioreactor. I'm really impressed with their results, so I'm going to be moving toward their model in our situation. Here's a finished compost that we've been using. Dark, fluffy, moist, not dry, but again compact. There's no air in here, so I'm going to work on getting some air holes in there. And then, because I've been enthusiastic about the compost tea, I never know if that's a leaf or if it's plastic. It's a leaf. They fool me every time. So I've been keeping these biological waters going, but now I see that it's more extraction. So once we get better compost, we're going to try more extraction rather than teas. They're all just not fungal, but bacterial dominated, I'm sure, because they're just not sitting. This is one where I worked on an air hole yesterday down the middle, but it should have some more around the side, because this side is not permeable to air. This has plenty of holes in the bottom for the water to go out. So again, if I can do it without disturbing it too much. And this is the bed we put in during COVID. We plant it with sweet potato vines for living mulch. This is really a hot summer. So now the plants are coming back and say, oh, I want to grow now. And it's just about 15 days from the annual or possible first freeze. Maybe it won't, but we've got peppers and cilantro, onions, some old tomatoes, yard-long beans, and eggplant. Some asparagus over there in the corner that's coming back up. But again, this was all potting soil. We got a discount from Walmart on some good bags. I think we got 50 bags. And this is 7 by 11. And we filled it up maybe 2 feet. This is the old garden square that we started first. Has a fig tree in the middle, and that was going to be the shade. And then we added these grapevines, and they took over the shade. So still some sweet potato vines, a little bit. The azalea over there, I don't know if we can zoom in, died. So I'm hoping that some of these other little sprouts, if they're not volunteers from the compost they put around there, maybe some of the azalea roots lived, and we'll get a plant back next year. Otherwise, we use toast like Robbie and Gary. This is the Korean catnip mint family. I think it's perula or something in English. And the challenge is keeping them moist. Got a volunteer papaya, more eggplant, tomatoes, Swiss chard, more peppers. Very nice. Gadnip, eggplant, some soup. Edible chrysanthemum that we're germinating to go through the winter. It's a little sparse. Those are beets, so forth. Well, that's it. Peaceful living journey. Eat something fresh every day, and we'll talk to you later.